to get you ready for next week. Part of the reason is every single year, and we're on YouTube now. Let's go live on Facebook. As every year we seem to have those questions come out of people looking for the shows that are the fireworks shows that are in the area, and so we're trying to dive into as many as we can to make sure people know when they are taking place, all that good stuff, details about parking, when to be there, other activities are surrounding it, and also as part of the conversation, how you can support these events so that they can continue year after year after year. And so we want to welcome Adam Lamb to the studio. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good. From Ludington Yacht Sales there. And
Hamlin Lake resident.
There you go. Absolutely.
Cares about the Hamlin Lake Fireworks.
There you go. And Ken Muzzo is in the studio as well. Ken, your title, is it, do you work for Adam now or no?
No. But I am... one of the board members for the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society.
Yes.
And we're the organization that puts on the fireworks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it takes, and what's really interesting for a lot of people is that you are, even though you have to, execute this year, right? You are planning for future years when it comes to these fireworks shows.
Yeah, because of, what it takes to put on the show. The money we raise this year goes towards next year's fireworks.
Yeah.
This year's fireworks was
paid for last
year's fundraising events that we did. And we're actively working to put on new fireworks. In the past, it used to be that we could afford to put on the fireworks just through membership in HLPS, Hamlin Lake Preservation Society. Yeah. But because of the supply chain issues since COVID, and the cost increases, because most of the fireworks come from China, and we got blasted in the last couple of years with price increases.
What does that look like, if you don't mind us just for the listener and viewer out there to understand how much of a change that has been? We already feel it in the grocery store and the appliances that we're purchasing as such, but to understand the big picture too is that other areas that we don't think about are affected by these price increases.
Yeah. Overall, it's pretty much doubled in the last couple of years, the cost of putting it on. And it's not just the cost of fireworks. It's also the cost of insurance, the hiring of the professionals that are needed, to, the pyrotechnics professionals. We have the fire departments that we have to support to be there on site and stuff like that. So all of that across the board, the prices have increased because... inflation hits everybody.
Yeah. Well, and one of the issues, getting back to why there were no 2023 fireworks, is it was literally overnight. It went from, hey, fireworks, no big deal, to, oh my gosh, the fireworks have doubled in price, and our intake has not.
Okay.
And, that's kind of honestly where we, Christina and I, got brought into the mix as a part of the firework. It's basically a subcommittee within the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society, and we being Hamlin Lake residents and having kids and friends and family, and obviously loving to go to the Hamlin Lake Fireworks, we were on board right away.
Okay, yeah.
And ironically, Ken talked Christina into running for the treasurer's office for the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society. So then we got to see really how down and dirty and how expensive just the fireworks event itself is, let alone everything else the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society does.
Well, I'll ask you this question, and it's not meant to be sort of on the negative side of it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Does cost factor into eventually saying, I don't think we can do it anymore? Does that happen?
We're trying not to let that happen. Okay. We're trying to stay ahead of the power curve.
Yep.
And obviously, the cost is going to increase every year. So we've been coming up with creative ways to raise additional funds. Like last year, we had Dr. Reamer Sticks put on a fundraising event, and
which was very successful.
Hugely successful. Honestly, without Dr. Reamer and Sticks stepping up to the plate, we would not have met our goal in time to get because we have to order the fireworks in January.
Okay.
For that calendar year. So without the team at Styx and Dr. Reamer, I mean, honestly, Andy pretty much saved the Hamlin Lake Fireworks last year by putting on that fundraiser. They pushed us over the edge, and I know for a fact that we were just a little shy. And shockingly, when that check showed up, it was right where it needed to be.
Oh, that's good. Good. And from your standpoint, you don't want the finances to be the critical point. You want it to be like, okay, is the firefighters in place? Is the community ready for this? Are the fireworks? I mean, you
there's
have
a lot
other
of balls
focuses
in the air when it comes to putting on a professional fireworks show like that. And having to worry about funding on top of all the other stuff is an issue. The other thing that hit us with funding was in with COVID and all the confusion that went on back there. Membership in Hamlin Lake Preservation Society fell off.
Okay.
We're trying to get a handle on it. There's going to be a membership drive coming up. But we created a new website. It's called Hamlin Lake Preservation Society.org. Okay. There's a number of other websites out there that look like Hamlin Lake Preservation Society, but the only one that is us is Hamlin Lake Preservation Society.org. And you could go there, you could renew your membership, you could join, you could become a member, or you could just donate to, fireworks, fisheries funds, or all the other things that Hamlin Lake Preservation Society does.
So somebody's going to say, well, why should I join this organization? Is it just for money to go to the fireworks? I think it's bigger than that. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, it's much bigger than that. If you like Hamlin Lake, if you come up on vacation or if you have a property on the lake, the fireworks is part of what we do, but the main thing we do is we look into water quality. We look at the weeds and algae and trying to maintain this beautiful lake that we have.
Manage the fishery.
And manage the fishery on the lake. So there's a whole lot of things that we do other than fireworks. Fireworks is just...
Ironically, the fireworks is the most public thing that we do. A lot of the other things that the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society does, I mean, they're constantly doing tests, water testing. I mean, we were at the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society annual dinner last Friday, and, I mean, they have people, this is all volunteer, mind you, that are going into all of the tributaries that feed Hamlin Lake and testing the water quality within the tributaries to make sure we're not getting nitrates and things from water runoff that can cause growth of weeds we don't want, or aquatic life. Excuse me. What was that? Was that the right
aquatic
term?
Life?
Aquatic
not
life.
Weeds.
Yeah, not weeds. But some of them are evasive, and they can take over lakes like Hamlin if they're not managed. And so that's really, the amount of dollars that goes into that research that Hamlin Lake Preservation Society pays for is really the important part. The public side of it is we need money for fireworks.
Yeah, understandable.
That's the long and short of it. We need money for fireworks.
Yeah, and that's what, part of your fundraising efforts this year with Styx and that movement last year to help put you over the top, give you enough to get through this year. Is that correct? And now you're looking at, you're always a year ahead, or try to be a year ahead. Is that right?
Right, we're trying to be.
Well, we're catching up. We were a year behind.
Okay.
And now we're trying to get back on the same page of being a year ahead.
Okay.
So go ahead.
And we're raising money now for 2025.
Yeah. So the new spiel, or the stick, is 25 for 25. Hamlin Lake Fireworks.
Okay.
So we need $25,000. So essentially every year. Well, this year we 25,000 for 2025, but we'll probably have to raise more for 2026 because just again, I think it's cheaper over time.
Yeah.
So it's a continual, like, it just needs to keep rolling in. We've got some great volunteers, and we're going to be doing a newsletter, a mailed out newsletter.
Okay.
Where
that should be coming out shortly.
And that will be on to all of the riparian owners on Hamlin Lake proper.
Okay.
And that includes all the bayous, upper and lower Hamlin. And that will also give the option to go to the website and donate or mail a check. The other thing about the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society is whenever you do make a donation, we're talking about fireworks right now, but you can specify where you want that donation to go. So if you want to specifically go towards, aquatic life control or learning or fishery control, because, I mean, the society plants walleye. They keep track of the amount of, 17 different species of fish in Hamlin Lake? I think that's what they said.
I believe that's it. Yeah.
17 different species of fish just in Hamlin Lake.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 55-inch muskies in Hamlin Lake. It's crazy.
Don't tell us where, okay? No, but
and because HLPS is a 501c3, your donations are tax deductible.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. A few things that I would like to ask about the fireworks specifically. You'd mentioned, both of you, focused on this is obviously open to the community. You don't have to live just on Hamlin Lake
Absolutely
or the local areas. Take us through how the community can support this event, but also take part in watching these fireworks. Will you do that for us?
Sure. So we, being residents on the lake, the best way I think to see them is on the water. And they're fired off on Upper Hamlin. So pretty much right across for locals, if you know where Wilson Hill is, that particular Barnhart's. We're going to actually have a fundraiser at Barnhart's. We'll get to that in a minute. But, that particular, Wilson Hill to Victory Park, Ken, is the best spot on land to watch them, right?
Yeah, well,
anywhere along there,
anywhere between, say, Barnhart's and Victory Park. But,
yeah, so
Wilson Hill and Victory Park are open to the public.
Yeah,
they do not let people along the shore where they're firing off the fireworks.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
because for safety reasons,
they keep us, I think, 100 feet off or 100 yards off the shore.
If somebody has a boat that wants to take it to Hamlin, can they do that?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. You've got a public launch at the state park. You got a public launch in the South Bayou. You've got a public launch at Wilson Hill. And
Victory Park.
And Victory Park, there's one too, correct. So, and Ken, we were speaking before we were on there. People. I mean, these have been going on for over 50 years. The Hamlin fireworks. So, I mean, it's truly
a tradition.
It's a tradition, and the people build their vacations around coming to Ludington, coming to Hamlin Lake specifically just for the fireworks. So not only, I mean, we're talking about all those resorts, all those family-owned resorts that are all along Hamlin, Upper and Lower Hamlin. People come specifically for the Hamlin Lake fireworks.
That's great.
And when they bring their boats, so the best spot is, about 100 yards offshore. It's only about 18, 20 feet deep, so you can anchor right there. Make sure you have all your running lights working on the boat, your anchor light working on the boat for safety purposes. The sheriff does a great job of patrolling. They're always out making sure everybody's safe. And it's not a rowdy crowd. I mean, it's a 100% family crowd. And if you've never seen fireworks from a boat, it is one of the coolest things on the planet.
Cool.
I mean, I'm a little biased when it comes to boats, but
yeah.
I mean, it's one of the highlights of our summer is when we get to go. And then it's fun because you watch everybody disperse at night and you see all the running lights going in different directions. And, it's just sit back, be patient, wait for the crowd to move, and it's just off you go and go home.
But it's safe.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you've always got a couple people who don't really know the rules of the road, but it is what it is. And all the years I've been there, I've not seen any issues. It's just wonderful.
No, it's great. Ken, what's your thoughts?
Well, Adam's absolutely right. The best way to see these fireworks is by boat. But like we said before, you can see them from shore. I know Barnhart's always draws a big crowd.
It's a great spot to watch it.
There's people, at Wilson Hill. And
take us through that fundraiser that you were talking about in regards to Barnhart.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be on, August 23rd of this year. We're going to have a fundraiser for, raising additional funds for the fireworks to try to get ahead of the...
There's going to be celebrity bartenders.
There'll be a celebrity bartender.
Yeah.
And, some other things that we haven't quite nailed down
live music.
For sure. Live music and maybe a raffle or some sort of thing.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be somewhat of the same thing we did at 6 last year. But again, similar to the Hamlin Lake fireworks, Barnhart's is a Hamlin Lake legendary legacy, whatever you want to call it as well. And, Barnhart's has been there for like 80 years. And in that same location. It's been lots of different things, but, in its current world, it's a bar and a restaurant, and it's a main part of living on Hamlin Lake, Barnhart, for an entire day.
People are going to ask, Ken, are you starting from scratch, from zero for next year's, or because I think last year there was you weren't 0 to 25,000. You had a good portion to go against that. Will you see that when you do this fundraiser come up August that the mountain is going to be much steeper than last year?
Well, we have a little bit of a head start this year. I think we got somewhere around $3,500.
That's what I was thinking too, $3,500.
In the kitty. Most of the money that we had, obviously, we spent on this year's fireworks.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have to build that up from where we're at now, about $3,500 to $25,000.
Yeah.
To
okay.
get over the hill for, and we have to have that by January.
Yeah.
Well, and also too, just so folks out there know that we're, when we get this money, it's being spent wisely on the fireworks. We put out a bid for what we were looking for, and we had 3 competitive bids come in.
Okay.
And we went with the best bang, pun intended, for the buck.
Yeah.
On the most big booms, the most lights, the most glitter. One of the other members of the group is very knowledgeable about all of this. Unfortunately, Steve couldn't make it today, but he's got it dialed in, and
But he promises to light up the sky.
literally,
sure.
yeah. And it's not a short show.
Okay.
I mean,
How long is
it's
do we know?
roughly 28 minutes, 32 minutes, something like that.
that.
Yeah, I mean it's a significant show.
Okay, all right, and that is, and I know we didn't talk about times and dates and so on and so forth. So let's make sure we fit that in. We had we were talking about the Heart Sparks just a little while ago. They're on Tuesday. We've got Ludington's Freedom Festival and fireworks on Thursday. You've headed into the weekend where obviously people are making it for a long weekend, right?
Yeah, Saturday the 6th.
Okay.
is ours, and of course dark, which is roughly 10:25, 10:30-ish. Those guys have all that sorted out better than we do.
Okay.
And what we have done as a family, we like to go out and try to get, you got to kind of volley to get that good spot, right in front of where as close as you can get to where they light them off. A couple of years ago, they did ones that went into the water, and then they floated in the water, and then they shot up again.
Wow.
Oh, it was so cool. And if you weren't that close up front, you couldn't see how cool they really were. So, we like to get there, 8:30, 9, get a good spot.
Okay.
We usually take a little picnic with us, and we have dinner sitting on the boat.
And you have a couple hundred boats that will anchor out
At
there
least.
for this, right?
Oh, yeah.
At least,
there's
if not more.
a few of them.
It'd be neat to get a drone up and to see if we could get an actual, because once you took a picture, you could sit down and count them all. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. And I think the sheriff's department has one that they'll that they send up from time to time. So maybe they've got some footage that they can share with you.
That would be awesome, just to get a kind of a head count.
Yeah. Let's wrap up by asking if somebody is not on Hamlin Lake, they don't necessarily want to join the Preservation Society, but they still want to contribute.
Well, you can still go to the website, the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society.org, and there's a button for a join donate button.
Okay.
And you can donate specifically for either the fireworks or the fisheries fund or water quality.
Yeah, even if you're a family, so you've got grandkids and you want to take them fishing on Hamlin Lake and you want to make a donation, you can make a donation in their name into the fisheries section on the website. And again, like Ken said, it's all tax deductible because it is a 501c3. So, that is the bigger part of what Hamlin Lake Preservation Society really is. It really is truly maintaining our natural resource. Because Hamlin Lake is one of the oldest man-made lakes in the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Which a lot of people, some don't realize that it was just the Saulbo River before the logging boom in the 1850s. And then it became, I think it was 1855 is when they built the first dam and flooded the Hamlin, basically, and now it's the Hamlin Lake watershed.
Yeah.
So
And we see a lot of people utilize it. They're fishing out there. I think Janelle was just on the lake the other day and catching pretty good fish.
Absolutely.
In regards to that. So there is that idea that people utilize it, use it. can give back to it, can support the fireworks, and I think this is a great opportunity to do that. And Ken and Adam, the same sort of thing. I know you mentioned the fishery a couple of times. Is that is the steady long term that's throughout the year that you're doing. The fireworks are just a big part of drawing a little bit more attention to it.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, the two of you, we appreciate, and I do want to say this, is that all of the individuals that have helped financially, that have supported this, the volunteers, obviously the board, the subcommittees, Christine, yourself, Ken, all the years, because you've been there for quite a few years, right?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years on the board.
And my dad, prior to Ken, was very heavily involved in the Hamlin Lake Preservation Society too. So it's a little bit of a family thing for us on the lamb side, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of dedication there, and so thank you for providing this to the community, for sure. Again, website, Ken, and then we'll wrap it up. What's the website?
Hamlin Lake Preservation Society.org.
Okay.
And there's also Hamlin Lake Fireworks on Facebook.
All right.
And then there are the fireworks at dark on July 6th, and then August 23rd. Starting, I think, midday at Barnhart is going to be our kind of our kingpin fundraiser for the 25 for 25.
All right, let's make it happen where we keep the fireworks going over Hamlet.
That sounds great. Thanks so much for having us, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is